In the mysterious embrace of Azeroth's primeval forests, when the world was still finding its rhythm, resides a race as remarkable as it is unassuming: the Furbolgs. These colossal beings, worshipping the bear gods, wander beneath the eternal night of the trees. Reclusive and hidden away in the shadows of their mystique, their eyes carry tales as old as the forests themselves. Across countless generations, they shared these hallowed woods with the Night Elves, who are old allies of the Furbolgs. Spanning across the northern regions of Kalimdor, Northrend, the Broken Isles, and the lush Isle of Verdant Wilds, the creatures carved their abode among nature's embrace. Their villages and camps, made from environmental resources, subtly merge with the surrounding nature, illustrating a powerful tale of adaptation and survival to the various habitats. The harmony in which they reside with the natural world embodies the essence of resilience in the corners of Azeroth they call home. Furbolgs bear resemblance to bears, but also bear a few humanoid traits: an upright posture, skilled hands, and the gift of speech. Clothing is a rarity among them, often limited to loose loincloths or togas, if worn at all. Within their communities, a cloak of thick fur covers their mighty forms, serving as a visible emblem of their status. Ranging from shades of light brown to the deepest of black, this fur mirrors their role within the community. Shamans, swathed in grey fur, safeguard sacred knowledge, while the white or black-furred warriors claim their role as mighty protectors. Their society, organized in tribes, pays homage to chieftains who guide them through the spiritual essence of existence. Adorned with ceremonial beads, shells, and feathers, the chieftains proudly display the symbols of their respected roles within the tribes. Wisdom is passed down through stories and ceremonies, each one a precious thread in the fabric of their communal life. Among the Furbolgs, reverence for the twin-bear ancients Ursok and Ursol transcends all else. Their influence pervades the tribe's beliefs and practices, serving as guiding pillars of wisdom and strength in their culture and traditions. Ursine, the unique language of the Furbolgs, resonates through the forests of the world, woven from sigils and slashes rather than conventional letters. It reflects the Furbolgs' intrinsic connection to the primal forces of nature, combining symbols of owls, bears, wolves, and stags in its etchings. While all Furbolgs communicate using these rich linguistics, it's crucial to note the existence of distinct dialects among different tribes. For instance, the Stillpine Furbolgs have evolved their own specialized dialect, adding further diversity and depth to the evolution of this remarkable race. Furbolgs exhibit a keen sense of guardianship over their sacred lands and traditions, maintaining a circumspect vigil against influences that might disrupt the natural harmony and spiritual balance they cherish. Let our expedition through their tumultuous past unfold, where we are beckoned into a world shrouded in mystique. As we venture deeper into their story, we shall uncover the Furbolgs' history, secrets, and the heavy challenges they face in their struggle against the forces of corruption. Long ago, when the continents of Azeroth were still connected, the beginning of the Furbolgs' lore harkens back to the Jalgar, a bear-like race that once ruled the northern expanses of ancient Kalimdor. These Jalgar found themselves locked in an enduring feud with the Dragonflayer Vrakel clan. Over countless eons, as the world evolved, so did these exiled Jalgar, gradually shaping into the Furbolgs we now encounter. During the War of the Ancients, when the demonic forces first breached Azeroth's realm, a reluctant alliance formed between the Furbolgs, led by the Blackmaw tribe, the Night Elves, the Earthen, and the Tauren. It was a fragile union, for mistrust lingered in the air, but necessity compelled them to stand together. Huln High Mountain and his Tauren bolstered the Furbolgs' ranks, while the Night Elves, including Malfurion Stormrage and Jarod Shadowsong, fought valiantly against the Burning Legion. After the war, the Furbolgs established friendly ties with the Night Elves and Tauren, but their preference leaned towards peaceful seclusion. The River of Time flowed ceaselessly, bringing with it shadows of corruption. As the world faced new threats during the harrowing Third War, the once peaceful Furbolgs found themselves succumbing to a malevolent influence. Innately averse to the tumult of war and the taint of bloodshed, the Bear Men underwent a heart-wrenching transformation. Corruption clawed at their unblemished spirits, and darkness seeped into their hearts, causing the cherished harmony they used to embrace to wither away and plunging many tribes into wickedness. The sly influence of the Burning Legion and the soft whispers of the old gods all played their part in this tragic descent. The Furbolgs' deep connection with the forests became a vulnerability exploited by the Burning Legion. As the forests themselves succumbed to corruption, the Furbolg tribes were unwittingly tainted and driven to madness, turning upon their former allies and despoiling the lands they once protected. But as it is in the stories of every race, there are those who resist the seductive call of corruption. Amidst this turmoil, a glimmer of hope remains. Some Furbolg tribes and individuals have clung to the vestiges of their benevolence, displaying tolerance towards outsiders. Tribes such as the Timbermaw, Stillpine, and Longclaw are beacons of potential redemption, holding the flickering flame of hope for their kind. Concerned by the tragic transformation of their longtime allies, the Night Elves endeavored to aid the Furbolgs in finding solace and healing their fractured souls. But with each passing day, the Bear Men retreated further into the depths of their territories, consumed by an ever-deepening rage. In the northern reaches of Kalimdor, the Furbolgs faced further trials. Satyrs, vile creatures of the dark, corrupted entire tribes, such as the Blackwood tribe of Darkshore and the Winterfall tribe of Winterspring. These sinister influences severed the bonds that once united Furbolg brethren, awaiting the assistance of outsiders to mend the frayed kinship and guide the tribes back toward the light of unity and peace. Today, many renegade Furbolg tribes remain a force to be reckoned with, posing a dire threat to the nearby settlements of both the Horde and the Alliance. The few uncorrupted Furbolg tribes have grown reclusive and suspicious, harboring the fear that outsiders may bring further manipulation and madness to their isolated sanctuaries. We start our journey in the Great World Tree and home of the Night Elves, where a dark transformation has befallen the Gnarlpine tribe. Once a peaceful Furbolg clan, their fate took a dark turn when the effects of fell moss corrupted their minds. No longer allies of the Night Elves, they turned into berserk, corrupted feral beasts. The origins of this corruption trace back to Malfurion Stormrage's actions, inadvertently transforming the satyr Xavius into a twisted, tree-like creature. The remnants of this demon, known as the Bough of Corruption, became the source of the fell moss plaguing the Gnarlpine Furbolgs and the entire region. At the helm of this corrupted tribe stand Ursul the Mauler and Ferocitus the Dream Eater, both ensnared by the power of the manipulating moss. The chieftain of the Gnarlpine tribe harnesses the wicked powers of fell moss to further drive his kin into madness. The only way to break the curse that plagues his tribe is to eliminate the one responsible, himself. With the fall of Ursul, a pivotal moment unfolds, fostering the belief that the Furbolgs in the region may abandon their corrupted paths. A glimmer of hope surfaces, illuminating possibilities for healing and the restoration of Teldrassil's splendor. Let us journey into the mystical realm of Azuremyst Isles, where a fierce conflict rages between two Furbolg tribes. The Stillpine, led by High Chief Stillpine, are a friendly tribe residing on the Isles. For centuries, the tribe peacefully coexisted with the creatures of the island. However, their tranquility shattered as they became embroiled in a bitter war against the corrupted Bristlelimb tribe. Led by High Chief Bristlelimb, these hostile Furbolgs hold members of the Stillpine, including the Princess of Stillpine, in captivity. Initially, most outsiders struggle to understand the Stillpine Furbolgs they encounter. To bridge this communication gap, they turn to cryptographer Auron in Azure Watch and head on a quest to learn the Stillpine language. The key to deciphering this language lies in the sacred totems of the Stillpine Furbolgs. By comprehending the totemic symbolism, guided by the wisdom of Stillpine ancestor Akida, explorers of these Draenei lands can effectively communicate with the Furbolgs and aid them in reclaiming Stillpine Hold. It was whispered in the wind and written in the prophecies that a hero, not of the Furbolg blood, would rise to cleanse the land of shadows. This champion, whom destiny has chosen, is aptly titled the Promised One, confronting various adversaries, culminating in a battle against the Kurkan, a fearsome two-headed dog-like beast that laid waste to Stillpine Hold and holds dominion over their cave. Venture forth, dear explorers, into the misty forests of Darkshore, where the Blackwood tribe of Furbolgs once thrived. Tragedy struck when the malicious satyr leader, Zabraxis, corrupted their minds with dark magic, plunging the tribe into madness. Valiant Alliance adventurers took on the mantle of salvation for the Blackwood tribe, purging the darkness that had enveloped them, vanquishing Zabraxis, and restoring the tribe to its former grace. Cataclysmic events ushered in new perils, as the Jade Fire Satyrs of Felwood sought to taint the Blackwood's homeland. The heroic adventurers rose once again, purifying the afflicted Blackwood and vanquishing the malicious satyr leader, Sharax the Defiler. While their kin in Felwood descended into madness, the untainted Blackwood tribe joined forces with the Alliance to repel the fiery elementals that menaced their village. In the ensuing years, during the battle for Darkshore, the tribe faced immense challenges. Despite enduring through numerous trials, the relentless tide of battle ultimately overwhelmed them. The Horde's ruthless invasion threw the tribe into chaos and despair, resulting in the desecration of their ancestral home, Blackwood Den, and the capture of their venerable leaders. Our journey takes us into the depths of Ashenvale, where ancient trees whisper secrets and the very land thrums with magical energies of 3 Furbolg tribes: the Thistlefur, Foulweald, and Bloodtooth. Each, in the grip of corruption, has veered from the paths of old, casting shadows through the forest's mystic veils. Despite this darkness, not all were corrupted, and some Furbolgs bravely continued to fight to protect the forest. Many others were killed, and a few were banished from their tribes, such as the uncorrupted Krog, who was cast out by the Foulweald. The Thistlefur tribe primarily resides in the western part of Ashenvale, and once danced in the shadow of the idol of Remulos, ensnared by its corrupting allure. A wave of freedom washed over them, heralded by the courageous intervention of Brawl Bearmantle during the invasion of Outland, severing the chains of corruption. Unfortunately, their freedom was short-lived as they became entangled in a sinister incident involving troll charms, which brought forth another form of corruption. These charms had the power to slowly manipulate those who were not trolls. There are conflicting accounts of this story, with one claiming that the Furbolgs attacked and stole charms from Darkspear trolls, while the other suggests that the charms were given as a token of friendship. Fortunately, the Night Elves and their Worgen allies managed to remove the troll charms, hoping that the Thistlefur Furbolgs would learn to respect objects of great power, regardless of their origin. The Foulweald tribe has recently been aggressive, attacking travelers along the roads heading east before the Foulfaran River. The tribe's violent actions seem to be a consequence of their corruption. The Foulwealds initially joined forces with the Horde during the capture of Silverwind Refuge from the Night Elves. However, in an act of betrayal, Chief Murgut, their very leader, callously sold his own kin into the shackles of slavery. The third tribe living in Ashenvale is the Bloodtooth tribe. Renowned as the mightiest among the Furbolg clans, it bows to the formidable leadership of King Ran Bloodtooth. Cloaked in an aura of mystery and strength, the tribe predominantly dwells in seclusion within their closely guarded encampment. Corruption's insidious shadows have crept into the heart of the tribe, with King Ran Bloodtooth succumbing to its dark embrace. This vile influence has mercilessly intensified his nature, making him increasingly hostile. Amidst these sweeping tales of corruption, one figure stands apart: the uncorrupted Furbolg, Krog. Cast out by the Foulwealds, Krolg finds solace near the tranquil Mistral Lake. Partnering with adventurers, they go on an extraordinary task that not only topples Chief Murgot, but also confronts Chieftain Ran Bloodtooth. For Krolg, Ran Bloodtooth symbolizes the very essence of corruption, a living embodiment of insatiable power lust that would plunge Ashenvale into the abyss of darkness if left unchecked. As we depart from the warring factions of Ashenvale, we set foot into the tainted forests of Felwood. Here, we find the Deadwood tribe, tainted by fell energies, a destructive form of magic favored by demons and the Burning Legion. They have established their presence in two villages, Deadwood Village to the south and Fellpaw Village to the north. The tribe's main adversaries are the Timbermaws, who are in conflict with the corrupted Deadwood clans. These Furbolgs, under the leadership of Chieftain Bloodmaw and Overlord Roar, have formed an alliance with the Winterfall tribe in Winterspring. It is whispered that the Deadwood clans harness the toxic elements from Felwood's affected creatures to craft a corrupted elixir, posing a grave threat to anyone who ventures into their territory. It is not long before we enter the heart of Timbermaw Hold, a legendary stronghold where one finds the Timbermaw tribe. This secluded labyrinth lies at the meeting point of Felwood, Winterspring and Moonglade. When the Burning Legion's corruption seeped into Kalimdor's sacred forests, it wrought havoc. Gentle creatures transformed into rabid, monstrous killers, their spirits tainted by demonic influence. The Furbolgs, the ursine guardians of the woods, suffered a similar fate, succumbing to madness under the relentless onslaught of corruption. The Timbermaw tribe defied this devilry. Seeking solace within Timbermaw Hold, their hearts became heavy as their beloved forest turned into a nightmarish version of its former splendor. The forest's spirits fell silent, casting a shadow of doubt over the Timbermaw, who feared that their home might remain forever tainted by the corruption. With the defeat of the Burning Legion, the Timbermaw cautiously ventured beyond their sanctuary, but their hearts still brimmed with wariness. Fearful of being mistaken for corrupted Furbolgs, they regarded strangers warily. The tribe recognized their vulnerability and extended trust to those who proved their friendship. To gain their trust and be considered a friend, one must demonstrate loyalty by combating and pushing back the corrupted Deadwood and Winterfall tribes. Only those who have earned the status of an ally are granted unrestricted passage through the tunnels. Their foremost priorities now revolve around ending the suffering of their corrupted kin and mending the wounds etched into Felwood's landscape. Confronted by the Deadwood Furbolgs in the south and the Winterfall tribe in the east, brave adventurers aid them in their cause. The Timbermaw clings to a fervent hope that one day the ancient forests would once again resonate with the songs and laughter of its native guardians. As we pass through the tunnels of Timbermaw Hold, we now step into the snow-covered expanse of Winterspring. Led by the High Chief of Winterfall, they thrived in their snowy mountain home. Most of them boasted thick white fur, though some had brown and black coats, similar to other tribes. It is here that the Winterfall Furbolgs held a close alliance with the Timbermaw tribe. However, their fate took a dark turn when a sly corruption seeped into their midst. An evil satyr named Zandivius, concealed in the leader's personal cave, wove a web of ill will that ensnared the Winterfall Furbolgs. Their peaceful relationship with the Timbermaw tribe soured, as they grew increasingly aggressive towards their former allies and the other inhabitants of Winterspring. To reduce the tribe's growing rage, High Chief Winterfall was killed, a necessary act that hopefully liberated them from his corrupting influence. As outsiders laid him to rest, they came across his journal, which revealed a tragic reality. In his misguided quest for protection, the chief had plunged his tribe into deception through a cursed elixir known as firewater. The potent firewater, a concoction brewed within the Deadwood cauldron at Fellpaw Village, is primarily composed of the corrupted creatures inhabiting Felwood. A dedicated group of Winterfall runners were tasked by the unsuspecting High Chief with its transportation, ensuring the liquid's passage between the tribes of Felwood and Winterspring. As it turned out, Zandivius is the one responsible for the ensnarement of the local Furbolgs. Under his ill influence, the corrupted Winterfall tribe blended the firewater elixir with the frostfire hot spring, which, while lessening its toxicity, resulted in affecting those who consumed it, inducing paranoia and addiction. Even after High Chief Winterfall's demise, Zandivius himself continued the mantle of spreading corruption. He planted new seeds of malice, hoping that the newly appointed leaders of the tribe would continue his sinister work. Outsiders proved wiser in their strategy, and once more brave adventurers ventured into the Winterfall camps and cave, this time with the sole purpose of defeating the dreaded demon. With the triumphant vanquishing of the satyr, the essence of the fallen creature kick-started a lengthy process of healing for the Winterfall tribe, paving the way for the salvation of Timbermaw Hold. In the northwestern reaches of Azshara, the land has long echoed with the footsteps of the Blackmaw Furbolgs. For millennia, this resilient tribe has called these desolate lands home, living amidst its timeless beauty and enduring through countless seasons. Their hold features multiple linked camps, dotted throughout the area. A mystical bone pit lies at the heart, where shamans engage in sacred rituals that echo through the hallowed grounds. Nearby, a space seems to serve as a garden and a graveyard, invoking curiosity and reverence. A monumental entrance graces the threshold, carved into the imposing form of a bear's head. But among its various features, an imposing door holds a position of remarkable significance. This massive door is more than a barrier. It is the closed entrance to the underground tunnels of Timbermaw Hold, leading all the way to Winterspring and Felwood. Over 10,000 years ago, Blackmaw Hold reigned as the capital of this tribe, a sprawling village settled along the northern mountain range. During the War of the Ancients, the Blackmaw Furbolgs valiantly opposed the onslaught of the Burning Legion. Following the Third War, the Blackmaw remained steadfast in preserving their purity. As tensions flared in Azshara with the arrival of the Horde and the Bilgewater Cartel, Blackmaw Hold assumed a demeanor marked by hostility towards outsiders, particularly the Bilgewater Cartel, for their disruptive alterations to the surrounding environment. In their commitment to safeguarding their homeland, the Blackmaw Furbolgs engaged in both confrontations and diplomatic negotiations with the Night Elves, harboring hopes of forging a lasting, peaceful treaty. As our journey approaches its conclusion, we are drawn towards the distant lands of Northrend, where we encounter the remarkable village of Grizzlemaw. Built within the solemn remnants of the failed world tree Teldrassil, the location bears the scars of a hectic past. The Furbolgs here are possessed by a dark corruption, as the Redfang and Frostpaw tribes of Furbolgs lock claws in a brutal conflict, painting the Grizzly Hills with the hues of their wrath and sorrow. The Furbolg deity, Ursok, who had perished in the War of the Ancients, became a focal point for the Furbolgs of Grizzlemaw. For centuries, they sought a way to resurrect him. The roots of this corruption trace back over 4 millennia, where a group of druids, led by Fandral Staghelm, sought to bless the world with the powerful branches of the world tree called Nordrassil. But their intentions were met with the dark embrace of an age-old corruption, and the tree that was meant to be a blessing became a testament to despair and darkness. The tree's spirit became a vessel of an unending shadow, its roots reaching into the prison of the old god Yogg-Saron, filling the land with an inexorable evil. As the sapling grew, it became tainted by the influence of the dread elder being, turning the peaceful Furbolgs into bloodthirsty monsters. Tribal wars erupted among them, shattering years of harmony. Adventurers who dare walk these troubled paths find themselves caught in the crossfire, their loyalties swaying between the feuding tribes as they navigate the violence-ridden terrains. It was discovered that the Furbolg tribes had indeed resurrected the bear god Ursok, but he was tainted, just like the Furbolgs who brought him back. In the midst of this turmoil, a Timbermaw tribe member named Ragepaw arrived in Northrend, teaming up with the explorers to confront the corrupted incarnation of Ursok and free his spirit from the taint. To stop the darkness from spreading, adventurers were tasked with burning the sapling growing within the tree's depths and collecting its ashes. After defeating the corrupted ancient Ursok and purifying his remains with the world tree's ashes, the freed spirit of the bear deity revealed the insidious influence of the old gods, warning the adventurers that this dark power extended beyond the tree's roots. In the end, Grizzlemaw's tale was one of good intentions twisted by manipulation and the heroic efforts of explorers to cleanse the Furbolgs of this cruel influence. Thank you all for joining me on this extraordinary journey into the world of the Furbolg. As we close this story, we carry forward the echoes of the eternal struggle and the enduring spirit of the Furbolg race in our hearts. The tales of the past and shadows of corruption of these forest guardians are deeply intertwined with the unique stories of the various tribes of Azeroth, each contributing their distinct chapter to the lore of this bear-like race.